Benz ride slow, that's me on the hunt. I'm a jerk, might creep with your girl in the front. Just so you know, this ain't the problem you want. Yeah, boy, don't even front. Real recognize real, so I know you a chump. You can tell them boys you roll with whatever you want, but you know, and I know this ain't the problem you want. When I stepped in the game, all I had was my name. When I leave, I'll be good long as I got the same. No, I can't take it with me, so I'm burning this change. You don't wanna go to war, boy, stay in your lane. I'm the real thing, me and my dudes still bang. Damn, since day one, and yes, we still hang. I don't be all online, don't at me, boy. Got a couple new whips, and I call them my toys. I'm a grown man, dealing with foolish behavior. I'm trying to savor all the fruits of my labor. I grind heavy, and you clowns is not ready. When it rains, it pours, feel like we broke the levee. We're nothing alike, I want a night, you trying to make her your wife. I buy whatever and don't look at the price. We don't date the same women, don't wear the same shoes. You're not on my level, so don't get it confused, boy. Yeah, it's whatever you want. You see that Benz ride slow, that's me on the hunt. I'm a jerk, might creep with your girl in the front. Just so you know, this ain't the problem you want. Yeah, boy, don't even front. Real recognize real, so I know you a chump. You can tell them boys you roll with whatever you want, but you know, and I know this ain't the problem you want. So it begins, all these haters wanna be friends. Everybody cut the vapors, now they seeing me win. Seeing me grin, watching me shine. Trips in Milan, chilling in the cat with a couple of dimes. I'm young, flying, flashy, still in my prime. Stop tripping, it's simply my time. I'm here by divine intervention. Did I mention, these are not goons, they're my henchmen. Ladies love me, I'm creep squad, don't judge me. I wink at your chick, you in the corner trying to mug me. I get it, you spending money and you all committed. I come through in that navy blue Yankee fitted. And all the girls get to whispering, he can get it. Relax dog, that ain't even what I'm on. I'm sitting with my hitters, chilling in my zone. Think twice before you start some fun. This ain't the problem you want. Nah, this ain't the problem you want. Yeah, it's whatever you want. You see that Benz ride slow, that's me on the hunt. I'm a jerk, might creep with your girl in the front. Just so you know, this ain't the problem you want. Yeah, boy, don't even front. Real recognize real, so I know you a chump. You can tell them boys you roll with whatever you want, but you know, and I know this ain't the problem you want. Yeah, this ain't the problem you want, boy. I mean, you might want to think twice before you come this way, player. So me and my dudes is ready. I mean, we ready for war anytime. We can do this for your turf and my turf. I mean, yeah, it's whatever you want. You see that Benz ride slow, that's me on the hunt. I'm a jerk, might creep with your girl in the front. Just so you know, this ain't
who with me?
Yeah, boy, don't even front. Real recognize real, so I know you a chump. You can tell them boys you roll with whatever you want, but you know, and I know this ain't the problem you want.
What's good? Long time no see. What's happening with everybody? What's happening, man? We're gonna go a minute. We just gonna go a minute. What's happening with everybody? Long time no see. Yeah. Who with me? Who with me today? Let's see here. Before we get started, let me say what's up to some people. I don't know how many transferred, but I'm just coming off of a hot show. Yeah, I hit the button and came right on over here. Oh, bro. Shit, some of y'all had a rough day at work. Some of y'all actually did some real work today. Some of us. So how dare I get on here and think that just doing some simple talking is work? You know, like I'm really tearing down a wall or something, or doing that hard lifting work that you've done today. So I apologize for coming off all soft and shit. All I'm doing is talking, right? That ain't no work. Some of my brothers out here down there beating up walls and tearing down doors, reframing walls and all this old shit. And I'm screaming about how tired I am. My apologies to you, King. Some of y'all ladies already did 3 or 4 hairdos in your shop. Some of my barbers already cut 7 heads, 8 heads, a crying ass baby, and all type of shit. And I'm sitting here talking about how tired I am. My apologies to you, King. My apologies to you, Queen. You know, some nurse already seen 3 or 4 patients, had to give one a shot, and they were screaming and hollering and they didn't got on your last nerve. And I'm sitting here talking about I'm tired. My apology, Queen. I'm sorry. My brother then went on his damn route this morning, the trash collector. He then went through, the weather nice, but he didn't did extra shit all outside of his job description, throwing a couch in the damn in the truck and all that. That ain't in his job description, but he did it anyway. I'm sorry about saying I'm tired, King. My apologies. Happy Monday to everybody. Welcome to the special edition. I'm a little late today because I just came over from the King and I. If you missed it, go back on our channel, go back on Wyatt Live and on YouTube or on Facebook and check it out. I wore my chains today because I'm breaking free. Who can see them? I'm wearing my chains today because I've broke free. And I also want to share with y'all, I'm going to bring this up a couple times because a lot of people aren't here yet. Let me knock me down and bring up the chat a little bit so I can read. Everybody can get into the sidebar conversation. Let me tell you what I've done. A lot of people have been asking me about the hoodies and the sweatshirts and things of that nature. I want to let you know that they're almost available. I'm starting to wear them now. Here's the latest one. This is the red, Wyatt, and blue. If you can see that, let me know. You see that? Can you hear it? Can you read it? The red, Wyatt, and blue. That's right. Not the red, white, and blue. The red, Wyatt, and blue. These are the sweatshirts that are dope. You got your patch on the sleeve there. And these are available in all sizes and like 4 different colors. And then we have our normal Wyatt Live t-shirts and sweatshirts. All that stuff is coming on the website. Okay, you'll be able to order it. I'm even giving away some free t-shirts. If you make, and then the hats, coffee mugs. Where the mugs at? I can't reach over there right now. I'll get one here in a minute. Drink bottles, all that type of stuff. We'll have it all. Mary Birch Lavender. That's Mama West End, y'all. Let me tell you why y'all out of trip. Happy belated birthday to you, Mama. And I got a couple other birthdays. AP is his birthday today, and Been About That Check, it's their birthdays today. Y'all know I gave him a shout out earlier in the messenger group. Give a shout out to Anthony Prosser, it's his birthday today. Give a shout out to Been About That Check, it's his birthday today. And of course, give my Mama Birch, Mary Birch, a belated happy birthday. These are part of our family. This is our family, fam. This is the Wyatt Live family group. And if we got to be special, because we got to support one another. Ooh-wee. Mama Birch say she's 73. Damn. And you still look that good? I mean, y'all ain't lying. Go to Mama Birch page. Y'all know she Mama Birch, right? Like, she got Cindy. I got brothers and sisters with her. Y'all got to understand that. We're part of a whole different part of downtown. Y'all got to understand. Y'all got to understand. There is nothing worse, not worse. Let me retract that. Bring that back. There is nothing more challenging than growing up in the hood and being as light-skinned as we were. Listen, thank God for Darnell, Jimmy, and Big Birch. Thank God for them, because they was big. But we was all light-skinned, and we was called mellow yellow. We was white boy. We was everything in the hood. But I had my brothers to help me. Yeah, it's tough being light-skinned in the hood. It's tough. And I'm going to tell you something. We all loved each other. The dark-skinned, light-skinned, we all loved each other. It wasn't about that. But I was called so many names. She said, hey, call Wayne Casper. Wayne Birch. That's once again my big brother. Y'all got to understand, everybody that grew up downtown was brother. If y'all wasn't brothers, y'all was some other shit, right? Cousins. That's my cousin. Ain't nobody related, but we grew up in a different era. Do they still do that today? Do they still do that today? Do kids? I hear all that brother shit, but didn't it go from brothers to day ones or some shit? Don't they rephrase it? Isn't it called like day ones now? Somebody help me. Put it in the screen. Put it in the screen now. What do they call them? You know, we used to lie. Everybody down the way, we was cousins. Everybody that I grew up, all my friends, the bubblegum in the dish type mugs, you know, the day ones, sandboxes. We all was cousins. Bubblegum in a dish. How many pieces do you wish? Yeah, them. We was that young, pro kids. Yeah. But everybody lied. We was all cousins. That's my cousin. You couldn't go nowhere without saying that's my cousin. Jazzy, that's my cousin. Tico, that's my cousin. Durrellfield, that's my cousin. Jermaine Britton and them my cousins. Do they still do that today? Do they still respect other people's mama and show them mother's love? I don't really know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful because I really don't know. But do they still call each other's mother's mama? And can those mamas do what Miss Birch and them used to do? Y'all gotta understand, Mama Birch and them lived by the laundromat. So we couldn't really do shit. Like there was 4 corners down the way. Y'all know what the 4 corners is? There was 4 corners that you couldn't really do shit because somebody mama was gonna be on your ass. Somebody mama was gonna be on your ass. If Mama Birch seen us do something, she'll call my mama. Mama Birch will whoop my ass. I know we all didn't heard these stories before, but this is the realest shit because I got the receipts right here. It's different when guys be talking that shit about, oh yeah, you know how it was when we was growing up. No, my childhood is on the platform. So I can't pump fake y'all. I can't fake this shit. This is real shit. My platform speaks for itself and it verifies, it trusts, believe, and verifies everything that I say because it's right here in front of you. You got to understand, our mamas and all that shit went to Taft, raised us right around Taft High School. They all knew each other. They all had this understanding that if you see my son out here doing some bullshit, girl, you get his ass and you send him home, but you get his ass. They would never today. They would never today. They would never today. And I ain't saying that it's all the way wrong that it's that way, because I don't think I'd really give anybody permission to be disciplined and beating my kid's ass right now either, because I don't know what's out here. I have to really know your ass for you to put your hands on my child. Hell, I don't put my hands on my child. I get it. But back in our days, shit, everybody got ass whoopings. That was just part of the process. That was part of the process of growing up the way we grew up. And some of y'all still turned out to be disrespectful ass woman beaters, disrespectful ass men, disrespectful ass women. But a lot of us turned out to be beautiful people. So that goes to my point of, I don't know. And I ain't saying nobody wrong, but it goes to my point of, I don't know if ass whoopings really work. I don't know if whoopings really work. I don't know. Because I know some dudes that got plenty ass whoopings from their mamas. And they still getting ass whoopings today. I mean, from the world. From making decisions that them ass whoopings was put in place to stop you from making. So, I ain't being judgmental. I hope I'm not sounding like that because I'm a victim. I'm a victim of ass whoopings as a kid. And Mama Birch was the same type of way with her boys, rest the souls of the two, and my big brother Darnell and my sisters. But shit, we was raised where, hey, you go beat his ass or I'm gonna beat your ass. And that's just how it was. You handle yourself. You learn how to be a man. And I just don't see that these days. I see a lot of men I see a lot of people taking up for their kids, but they doing the shit. They just not doing what they supposed to do. They being friends and not being parents. We want to twerk and shit. I seen a mama twerking with her daughter. What the friznick is that? My mama would never. Let a Big Frida song come on. She twerking with her daughter and they tripping like they having a ball. I'm like, what the freak is this? I see dudes out here putting their sons in the game. And not the football game, but the dope game. There's no reason why a daddy should be out in the streets and his son is out in the streets and the son died before the daddy. That's a damn shame. I've seen it. I know y'all seen that shit. We all done seen it. But that ain't what I'm talking about today. Just thought I'd bring it up because I got some people here that I love. Happy birthday, Mama Birch. I know it's belated, but happy belated birthday to you. Happy birthday to AP, Anthony Prosser. Happy birthday to Been About This Check. Birthdays are precious. The more we have, you know, the more I look at birthdays as another year of experiences. Okay, I track my experiences in life. Kind of our experiences is who we are. The things that we experience in life, that's what defines us. How well you get through it, how you handle it. That's how we get through it. That's who we are. Let me see who we got in here, man. Yeah, let me see. Where are my glasses? Let me say what's up to some people real fast. Of course, Mama Birch is in here. I was just talking to her. So, like I said, hello, Mama Birch. Anthony Prosser, hello. Tracy Dillaham, what's good? David Herring, what's happening? Christy Wingert, what's happening? Jenny, what's good? Latora, what's good, PC? LaDonna Howard, what's good with you? Jenny, once again, Christy. Angela Kinney, what's good with you? Sabrina Calloway, what's happening? Brenda Early is in the building. Let's see here. Who else we got? Jason Dockery, what's good with you? Been About This Check, what's happening? Happy birthday once again. Let's see here. Sorry, the screen is moving so fast. I can't really catch up with everything. McConnell, what's good with you? He says, sup, Wyatt again. And everybody, what's happening? Cleopatra Jones says, I'm back. What's happening with you, Cleopatra? Let's see here. I don't know who Facebook user is. It might be my sister. Let me just see if I can catch up. Tim Scott, what's good? Stephanie Hyde, what's happening? Cuz I'm not sure who Facebook user is. I'll get that one. I'll figure it out. I promise you, they'll say something else. What was related? Let's see here. The screen is moving so fast. Janice Robertson, good evening to you. Once again, I got that Facebook user. I promise you, I'm gonna figure out who you are. I don't want to miss you on the shout outs. Jason Dockery, what's good? Stephanie Hyde, I mentioned you already. Let's see here. There's some other Facebook users that I don't see their name. Oh, Deanna Hopkins, good evening. Welcome. I'll get to a few here in a minute. My screen is moving. So happy birthday to those folks, to those family members. As you can see, I got on the red, Wyatt, and blue hoodie. Something special, something new for the collection. Feel free to get one. I'll have the details for you here soon. I just came off of a conversation on The King and I. It was right before this show, and we went over a little bit. So I appreciate those that stuck around or went to the restroom, did everything that I did, refresh my drink. Refresh my drink. And now I'm back at it. Can we only go an hour? Are we okay with an hour? Because I'm just coming off of another show that lasted a couple hours. So if I can go on for an hour, that would be great. Let's make it a powerful hour. Let's make it an informative hour. Let's see if I can squeeze 2 topics in this hour. That's kind of tough to do because our conversations be so deep that they can last 3 hours. Just one conversation, one topic. You know, we got voting tomorrow. If you plan on voting, raise your hand. Yeah. If you've already voted, raise your hand. Yeah. If you plan on voting tomorrow, raise your hand. Yeah. There's a few things on the ballot. That are very important. And I'm going to be honest and tell you, I stood away from a lot of conversation about some of the topics because, and I should not have done it. I should not have done that. And the reason being is because there are people that have platforms, they have shows, they have platforms, they have their opinionated pieces out on the air or on Facebook and YouTube, and they have made it clear how they feel about some of the topics, some of the things that's on the ballot tomorrow. And they have a crowd. They have a crowd, so they have an influence. And me, I haven't really done my duty of trying to sway people one way or the other. I don't feel that I should do that to people. But what I feel I should let people know is something about one that I know about. And I don't want you to vote based on what I tell you to do. I want you to vote on what's important to you. And I told Emmanuel, right before we were going off the air on the last show, I told Emmanuel that he had a senator, a state representative, call his show one time. And he's called the radio as well. And he's telling all our black folks, because you don't call the radio station and then you don't go on a black platform like Emmanuel Livingston. You don't go on there seeking out anyone other than us. You ain't trying to get no 700 WLW listeners when you go to E-Man's Afternoon Experience, which is a great show. You're not going over there. You're going over there to reach us. You're going over there to touch the black community because the black community is listening to E-Man. You're going to the radio to say what you say to the black radio because you know the black people are listening. And I'm telling y'all, I'm not going to try to sway you one way or the other. But I get it. What I don't like is this. I'm going to say it. I don't like when we sell each other on policies and only give one side of the coin and never make it a balanced argument. And what I mean by a balanced argument, let's make it make sense. I'm not trying to sit here and be Mr. Goodbar, but I am going to tell you the truth. A balanced argument to me is, okay, this is what the policy is about. Here's the benefits of the community. Here's the downplay of it entering the community. That's a balanced argument, a balanced position. And I understand a politician is supposed to come on and tell you everything why you should vote for this, or why you should vote yes, or why you should vote no. But is it really fair? Is it really fair? I mean, let me just ask you this. Let me put it in proper perspective. Some of y'all ain't gonna feel me on this, but I gotta say it because it's true. When a politician goes to a white radio station or a white podcast station or whatever you call us, they don't say, this is the right thing to do for white people. They never marginalize it as being a color thing. Some of y'all so, strong in your beliefs, you would say, Wyatt, they don't have to. It's coded. It's favorable to white people. Maybe so. I don't know. But I can tell you what we always do. And it always makes me just, it spazzes me out when I hear a politician who uses the color structure on us. Well, it's even gotten so blatant. It's gotten so blatant that you even got white politicians who have no fear at telling black people, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You got white people so comfortable using the race of the racial aspect of policy making as using cultural related things to lower your guard. Lowering your guard is to make people believe that they out for you just because you black. That's nonsense. I know some people not going to understand me or don't want to rock with this perspective, but I'm telling you it's true. You don't hear Jewish politicians saying this is for Jewish people. You don't hear white people saying this is for white people. You don't even hear Asian people that are running for office saying, here are policies that are going to benefit the Asian community. Do you ever hear that? You know why they don't say that? Because it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And there's some people right now that's already huffing and puffing about where I'm going and what I'm saying. What burns me up even more is when you get a black politician who uses the hustle of the race card to lower your guard and not explain. I'm not saying they wrong in what they telling you, but be fair. I mean, be fair. And just because this policy is what you support, Mr. Politician, be fair in explaining how this benefits your community. Don't just leave it on the table like this is for the black community. Be specific. Be specific in how it supports the black community, bro. Other than that, you just leaving it on the table to be dangled. It's just dangling out there. And and here's where they get us. Here's where they get us. If you don't understand, you just ain't black enough. You don't get it because you don't know. You know how they do us. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I don't know. Be specific. What is your policy that you want me to vote for? How is that benefiting me specifically? Show me. Give me an example. Give me an example. No, that's not that's not necessary. Because we've already gotten to a point where we just look at a black politician and think they got to be for us because they one of us. All right, let me break it down to you. I've been very fair in not getting into politics and which way people should vote and all that old shit. And I've even let people get on. Not that I could stop them, but I even let people go on and say some things on other shows and platforms, and I never challenged it. But I invited them to come on and we can have a conversation. It's funny how they don't know I exist. It's funny how when I'm willing to be critical on conversation, that I'm this little bitty ass podcast with a very little group of people with no experience in radio. Do I really have to have that much experience in radio and podcasts to be able to ask critical questions on a topic that I've been involved in as a professional for 18 years? I think I'm more qualified to have that conversation than the person that's telling you to vote for something. I know the ins and outs. I know the ins and outs. I know the benefits and the downfalls. But some people don't have a problem having a conversation about policies that's best for your community with people that don't ask critical questions because they don't know to ask them. No, that ain't no shade at E-Man. Y'all know I got love for E-Man, but E-Man don't know the industry. He don't know bonding. He don't know bail bonding or bonding in the industry. He don't know what's going on in the courthouses. He don't know the benefits and the traps or what. He don't know that. So he can't possibly ask the kind of questions that somebody with experience would ask. There was a judge. I'm not going to mention any names because she refused to come on the show. She didn't refuse. She just declined. She declined to come on the show. This is what trips me out about the internet and Facebook and social media. Judges can come out and say, support this, support that. They can even come out and say, don't vote on this issue, don't vote on that issue. But when I invite you to come on the show to have a conversation about that issue and you decline, why would you do that? It ain't because I said, let's do it at a certain particular time of the day and you're busy. I never even gave you an opportunity to say, hey, I'm busy. I'm busy. I won't be able to make that time frame. You ain't even pump fake it. This particular judge just totally said, nah, I'd rather not. But wait a minute, Judge, you just put out on the internet, on Facebook, you just put out what people, if it did, wasn't really showing favoritism for one way or the other, because this particular judge, it was a female. She said, if you want more information about issue 1, DM me and I'll send it to you. What type? Come on, judge. If you're going to put yourself out there, have a conversation or just don't say nothing. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to save faith. That means you believe what you believe, but you don't want the public to know how you believe. You want it to be on the sidebar. You can pick and choose who you deal with. But the public is the public. How you going to sit back and tell the public, I'm going to choose and I'm going to deal with who I want to deal with, and I'm going to send the information out to certain people the way I want it to be understood? That sound like fair justice? That sound like you going to be given, I mean, okay. Am I hurt? Am I distraught because she wouldn't come on the show? No. I sent back a thank you letter or a thank you text. Understandable. Thank you. That's all that was needed. What I'm gonna get back, I could be saying all what I'm saying right now. I could have said all this in a text back, or it was actually a post, and I could have responded back the way I'm talking now, but I chose not to because it wasn't gonna get the job done. It wasn't gonna make this particular judge come on the show, no matter what I said. They already said no. Let's talk about issue 1. Now, some of y'all might think what I say is shooting shade. It's not necessarily shooting shade when I'm just putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and I have to bring this piece in and do that piece, and some of those pieces happen to be some people that we know. That don't mean I'm shooting shade because they're part of the process of me explaining. But when you go on Black radio or Black podcast and you tell the public that the bonding system is abusive to poor people, and you specifically make poor people Black people, first of all, I get tired of that. Second of all, you're not being honest about the whole process of how it works. There are people sitting in jail because they can't make bond, and it's primarily because of their background, or they're primarily about what they have done to be sitting there. And let me just explain something to you. You got to understand, what no one is explaining to you is, in the bonding system, when someone catches a case, okay, when they're taken in custody and they go down to the Justice Center. See, this is what trips me out. There's a lot of defense attorneys that won't come up and say this. They want you to understand this process to be what people have explained it to be to you. But when you're taken into custody and you're charged formally with a charge, they assign you a case number. Once you're charged and booked in and ID'd and fingerprinted and all that, before you go to court or any of that, there is a level that the judges look at, and it's based on a scoring sheet. Anybody ever explain? Listen, some of y'all have been in this process before, and I'm not trying to be funny, but you know from experience versus me telling you or someone else explaining it to you. You know there's a scoring system, right? 0 to 12. Might be 10 now, but I think it's 12. That scoring system is based on who you are as an individual. It's based on employment. It's based on home stability. It's based on contacts with the court. It's based on a lot of different things that equal up some points. Okay? And when people say that poor people are sitting in jail and can't afford to get out, and they're charged, but they're not even proven to be guilty yet, that sounds good. Sounds like they're being mistreated. But let's just say that, let's use LaDonna, you mind if we use your name just for the hell of it, just for argument's sake? Do you mind if I use your name? Yes or no, real fast, and I won't use you. I could probably use Mama Birch. Let me use Mama Birch because she's 73, bless her heart, and y'all know I ain't talking. I'm just using her name as an example. If Mama Birch catch a case today because she done stole something out of Home Depot, if she go down to the justice system, go down to the Justice Center, they're gonna look at her record. They're going to look at her housing. They're going to look at her stability. What is the possibility of her returning back to court? If she has a stable home, if she has a stable job, if she has things that make her less of a liability to show up for court, chances are, if it's a petty crime, like they try to use to make it seem like people down there sitting down on petty crimes, if it's a petty crime, chances are her background and her point system, her scoring system, will allow her to get what they call an OR bond, which is an opportunity for you. It's called own recognizance. You sign the bond, you go home, and you come back to court on the assigned date. Okay? I guess what I'm trying to get everybody to understand is there are going to be some situations where judges are going to have situations in front of them, cases in front of them, where it comes down to the level of security for the public, security for a defendant. I'll give you a perfect example. This is an example of real-time world, not the examples that they'll give you in all these case studies that says there was a young man sitting in jail in Louisville. You got to go to Louisville to find some of this situation. There was a young man in jail in Louisville who sat in jail for 3 months on charges that never stuck, and he had an $80,000 bond, no 10%. Or he had a $100,000 bond, no 10%. But they never tell you about the accusations, and they never tell you what the evidence that was suppressed on him. They never talk about that. They just talk about how he had to stay in jail and was charged with a crime, and now he got indicted, but he was never found guilty. And now he lost his entire life. Okay, let's just say Mama Birch go downtown, catch a case from a Home Depot. Let's say, for instance, it was a misunderstanding. If Mama Birch had a nice score, which means she has a place to live, you don't have to own the home. You got a resident. You have time, you've been working, you're on a job. Like I said, there's a scoring system. If she scores well enough, you'll get chances are, with a petty situation, you'll get an OR bond. Now, let's say worst case scenario. I hate using Mama Birch for this because I got to get a little brutal in this one. Mama Birch catch that same Home Depot theft case. Mama Birch don't like to come back to court because her record shows she skips courts all the time. Mama Birch got 3 pending cases. So you think Mama Birch is entitled to an OR bond when she shows lack of responsibility of coming back and forth to court, and she's getting in trouble with other pending cases going on? You think that person deserves a bond, a low bond, when they're not doing what they're supposed to do? You really believe that? And this is a petty situation I'm talking about. I ain't even talking about the real shit that's going on out here. I'm not talking about the dudes that's kicking these women's ass. I'm not talking about the men that's beating these women ass and go in and get an OR bond and then come out and kill her ass, because that's happening. Oh, y'all didn't think so? You didn't think so? The same cities that are fighting for the bond to be removed, no bond. We want this bond system to be gone. Say that to the activists. Go talk to women helping women and see how they feel about that. Y'all didn't just hear about that little incident in New York? Didn't y'all hear about that? The man that beat the woman's ass. This was just this week. Well, wait a minute. Today's Monday. This was last week, the end of last week, right before the weekend. The man that actually whooped his woman's butt, damn near killed her. They had video, home video of it. But based on the bond rules in New York, the abolishing of bail and all that in New York, the judge had no authority to protect this lady when this man caught this domestic violence case. He was booked in, given a date to show back up, and went out. His next move was to find her, and he killed her. This was just Thursday of last week. Killed her. Because their system out there, there's no responsibility. There's no one that can sign on the dotted line that are watching. There's no bondsman in New York that when he come out of jail, we're like their POs. Like, you have to report. There's somebody watching you. There's somebody that's keeping you in check. with these cases pending? Who's doing that if the jail is just wait till January the 1st? Illinois is going to show you that you really have to be careful about what you ask for. You really have to be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. You just might get it. These are the things that are going on that people don't talk about. They don't talk about the other end. They talk about the poor people suffering, but they don't talk about the poor people suffering. I can give you another case, and I don't have to go to New York. I'm going to give you one right here in the Cincinnati area. Y'all remember me talking about this before it was election time and all that old shit. This is real shit. This is a real situation. Who remember us talking about, some of the new people won't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to refresh the whole situation. Who remember the little boy, the 19-year-old who shot the 19-year-old, the 18-year-old, the 8-year-old, and the 6-year-old up in Fairmount? This was over the summer. Who remember that? Anybody? Anybody remember that happened over the summer? The 19-year-old, his mama went on the news, and the news don't care nothing about people. They don't care if the mama say something. Hell, the news, the radio, podcast, they don't care that these mothers are coming on the news and saying things about what happened. They don't care. They don't know that those things are incriminating to their own children. They don't know that. They don't care. They just want the story. But who remember over the summer that the 19-year-old who shot a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old, he may not have shot them, but they were all involved in a shooting that this 19-year-old was involved in. All right, let me tell you that story. It's a very short one, and it's a true story. I had a lot to say about that. 19-year-old get booked for a gun charge. He got booked for a gun charge. A gun that had bullets in it. He's taken downtown. He's booked in. He's 19 years old, and they let him out on an OR. OR, which means his mother or nobody had to come down there. He's old enough. He's 19 years old. He got out on an OR bond. He signed his name on a gun charge. Westwood kid. Now, y'all know I'm a 2-5 dude. I ain't got nothing but love for Westwood. But we got to keep it funky. We got to talk about what's really going on out here. Westwood kid signs his 19 years old with a gun charge. He get out. It wasn't a week later. It wasn't a week later. He got another gun. First of all, let me ask this question before I complete the story. What does a 19-year-old need a gun for? Why does a 19-year-old need a gun? That's what a judge should be asking. That's what the public should, that's what we should all be asking. Let's get it. I gotta lay a lot of responsibility, not just on the kid, but on the community. What does a 19-year-old kid need with a gun? So this kid gets out of jail, signing himself off. He goes back to the community where he got arrested. This judge, I can't, I'm just assuming. The judge don't live in that community that she allowed or he allowed that kid to go back to. Judge don't have to worry about the gunfire and the gunplay that's going to happen if they get that 19-year-old who needed a gun get back out on the streets. Well, it wasn't a week later this kid gets another gun, and he runs into the people that he needed that gun for in the first place. They get into a shootout. 19-year-old gets hit, an 18-year-old gets hit, an 8-year-old gets hit, and a 6-year-old get hit. Thank God that the 6-year-old didn't face all of the punishment that the 8-year-old did. Ask that 8-year-old mother, the 8-year-old kid, ask his mother how she must feel about these guys being out here in the streets with the gun. Hell, ask the 6-year-old. He got grazed by one and made it home in a couple days. But ask the 8-year-old's mother, who when they took the cameras to her house, the video, the news went to her house, and her son, he'll never be a regular child. He'll never be regular. Bless his heart. You know what I mean when I say regular. He's not going to be one of these kids out running around in the park having a great time. He can't do that anymore because of gunplay that he had nothing to do with. But I ask myself, you don't think that a judge should be held responsible for making certain decisions of allowing certain neighborhoods to stay dangerous? You don't think there should be a level of accountability of these judges keeping the public safe? You don't think that? The one thing that I can tell you that a lot of people in this small percentage of knuckleheads out here, this is not the entire look. I'm tired of people talking about the black hood, the neighborhood, we all criminal. That's bullshit. It's a small percentage. It's a small percentage. And that all being said, don't you think, how do you feel about a judge allowing somebody to get out of jail on a gun charge? It's blatantly yours. It's obviously yours. And then go back to the same neighborhood that judge don't live in. The prosecutor don't live there. The judge don't live there. The defense attorney defending him don't live there. The bailiff don't live there. Nobody lives there but the kid that you allow to go right back into that neighborhood. Now he got to go into a neighborhood where he needed a gun. And now he gets into a four-man, it wasn't even a four-man gunfight. I can't tell you how many was involved in the gunfight, but I can tell you how many got struck by bullets. What did that 6-year-old and 8-year-old have to do with that? You don't think that's part of public safety? That's public safety. What about the young lady up on Reading Road last week? Bless her heart. Did y'all see her Facebook page? Did y'all see all the love and all the shock? Like, what? No, ain't no way. She ain't even in the streets like that. She got hit by a bullet because these dudes out there running around shooting each other. She get hit. I can tell you one thing right now. The majority, and y'all ain't, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's where I feel comfortable saying what y'all might say is an assumption. But some of the things that I see on a daily basis in court is whenever I see somebody get walked out in courtroom A and stand in front of the judge, most of the people who are up there for violent crimes have pending charges. Where are my where are my people that talk about what's going on with these policies? Do you ever hear them say that? Do you ever hear them talk about the revolving circle of criminality that's going on with the same folks? You never hear that part of it. You never hear how many people got pending cases going on while they're getting in trouble on some other shit. You don't hear that part, do you? Well, I do. Because I listen to the judge. I listen to them do the countdown, or the scoring system. Where my brother Carl Lewis at? I told him we had this conversation. Great defense attorney in the city of Cincinnati. I sat there and I listened to the points he scored, Your Honor. Mr. Johnson scored 7 points on the scale of on pretrial scoring system. He scores 7 out of 12, 8 out of 12. Y'all never knew that because the people that want you to do certain things, they don't explain it. Because to be honest with you, a lot of them don't know. A lot of them don't know. They research what they want you to know. And that's not really a fair analogy. They research the whole situation, but they may only tell you the portion that they want you to know. Nobody's going to tell you that shit. And now let me ask you this. How many people do you think is sitting in the Justice Center downtown right now for doing a petty crime and never been in trouble before, and they sitting there because they can't afford to get out? And this is a person that may have done something wrong. This is the first time they've ever done something wrong, and they down there on a massive bond. You got to pretty much have a F1 or a F2 for that to happen to you. You gotta pretty much have committed murder or attempted murder for you to be held on your first time ever getting in trouble. There's not a lot of people sitting in jail. See, some of y'all think that I'm saying that people are down there sitting down there for the first time in their life and they down there on massive bonds. I'm telling you, it's the opposite of that. I'm telling you that don't happen. Not as much as you've been led to believe. Now, let me just say this to you. Are there some people sitting downtown on bonds that they can't afford? Or there's some people like, let's use Mama Lavender, Mama Birch. Okay, let's say, for instance, she got caught stealing something at Home Depot. She go downtown, they give her this bond, they say it's a $5,000 bond. Because your ass got a dirty record. You didn't miss court a few times. So we didn't gave you all the slaps on the hand. Now it's time to get for real with you. You a no-show on this. You didn't go to traffic court. You a no-show for that. You didn't do that. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Bow. So we're going to give you a $5,000 bond, 10%. Now, when a bond is $5,000, you got to understand. You only got to put up 10% of that. So Mama Birch got a $5,000 bond. She can call one of her sons or one of her daughters and say, hey, look, I know I effed up. I need $500 so I can get out, so I can get this shit handled. I know her people. $500 ain't going to be no problem. That's because they there for her. Now let's flip the script. Mama Birch get in that same trouble to bond $5,000. When Mama Birch finally get in a situation where she can call, her kids might be like, nah, mama, shit, we done. We done did all this shit for you. You done stole from us. I'm not saying Mama Birch would do this. I told you I didn't really want to use Mama Birch. But let's just say the kids fed up. The cousins and the brothers of her fed up. Now you get in trouble way too much. You ran on me last time. I didn't have to go through this bullshit. You said you wasn't gonna do this ever again. You wasn't gonna. Somebody trying to be funny. Talking about bring back the electric chair. Stop playing, man. We over here on some real shit. And Mama Birch don't have the support to get the $500. It sounds to me like Mama Birch done been through a lot. She done burned bridges within her own family. If you out here dogging your own family, like I said, I don't want to use Mama Birch. But if you out here burning your own family up, what you gonna do if you don't have enough responsibility? You're not handling your business the right way. So once your family and your friends all cut you loose, those are the people that are sitting in there on low bonds. Those are the same people that if you was to give them an OR, they would go out and commit a whole nother crime because statistics show. Now, what I want people to do is I want the same people that come in and tell you that a judge should not be able to consider public safety when setting a bond. I want them same people to come up and tell me how many people are committing crimes while out on bond on ORs or very, very minimum bond.